Oh, that's Auntie Trey. I just want to do auntie shit with my friends.
What's going on, y'all? It's Auntie Trey, and I'm back with another video, back with another story time. It's been a little while, about 2 weeks, but I know I posted it sporadic. But my children, I have to do it when my kids are home because they run amok. They really do, and they're not going to let me have a peaceful story time. So I wait till they're in school or if they're gone to post a story time. But right now they're in school, so here we go. If you watch Jolanda Beauty on YouTube, she is freaking hilarious. She is so funny to me. And the first video I watched of her, she is like, just to let you know, I cuss. I was like, yep, this is the YouTube channel for me. But she posted a video about 2 weeks ago about how she got into it with her coworker. And I went down in her comments. I was like, I need to do a video about how I got into it with a coworker. But I've gotten into it with many coworkers, which I'm sure a lot of people have. I'm not the only one. However, this video, and this time I got into it with this woman, she was like the job bully. So like we banded together as a community, as a team to get her fired because she was like out of control. All right, like to hear, here it go. When I first moved to Charlotte, I had got hired at this job, and they had such a strenuous hiring process. It was super strenuous, but then they only wanted to pay you in gum. Like they weren't paying well. The hiring process was very strenuous, but I needed a job, so I jumped through hoops or whatever, got hired on a job or whatever. They didn't hire you right off full time nor part time. You work PRN or per diem, meaning you came in as you were needed. But they always were short staffed. So I was working full time hours without the full time benefits. All right, here we go. So when I started out on the assisted living side, and then they had a memory care side, which a lot of facilities do this throughout. I know in New York they did, and now that I'm living in North Carolina, they do it here. So I started out on the AL side, and I was working on the AL side, and there was a woman, like during the orientation hiring process, there was the resident care coordinator, and then there was the lead CNA, who they were homegirls. And I'm gonna describe the lead CNA to you. She was about 6'1", 6'2", and she was like buff, like a football player, real tall, real big, real dark. I mean, I know I'm big, but I can't play football. She looked like she could not. She looked like she probably had a couple Super Bowl rings under her belt. But I'm just saying, no disrespect. Um, so I could kind of tell that she was like the HBIC, like I'm the lead, like she was the leader of the free world. You just the head of the CNAs, girl. You not. Anyway, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to kiss the ring a little bit if I want to get in with this chick. So every time I would see her, let's call her Spam. Hey Spam, how you doing? Hey girl. So that's what it was. Like I said, I was picking up on the AL side. I started picking up on the memory care side. I was working with on the memory care side more often. I was working with this girl from Rochester. Now I'm from Buffalo. She's from Rochester. We got real cool. On my night off, she got fired. That was my home girl. And I was so mad that she got fired. However, now that she's not working there, there is a full-time spot open. So I went to the resident care coordinator. I'm like, can I have her spot? And she's like, hold on, let me see, let me see. So she ended up giving it to me. So I was going there full-time night shift. Okay. So working with, what did I name her?
Spam.
Cam. Did I say Cam? Okay. Working with Cam, like, okay, I would be leaving. Cam would be coming in the morning. And I saw how Cam moved, like how she talked to people, like she was real. Man, she was real. Oh my God. Like I remember one time she was so-called reprimanding one of our coworkers, and she's telling the lady, just sit down, shut up, and don't say nothing. And I'm just like, oh my God. So come to find out, Cam and I lived in the same neighborhood. One day I was coming home and I stopped at the little soul food place on the corner, and she was up in there with her people. Hey Tracy, hey Cam. Went and got my stuff and went home. And I'm like, okay, she live in this area. That's fine. Okay. So I remember one year it snowed real bad. Like real bad for Charlotte. The buses were shut down, wasn't nobody really driving. And it was like I had worked second shift that day. I usually stay over and work 11 to 7, but this day I was like, no, I want to go home. So I worked second shift. I didn't have a car. So I had no way home. There were no cabs out. I was stuck at work. So I spent the night at work. Mind you, I clocked out. I was done for the night. I clocked out. I was not on shift. I sat like in a little TV room where we all used to sit and wait to hear call lights and do rounds, whatever, whatever. So I sat in the TV room. I went to sleep. I woke up. It was like a little after 7. I'm like, oh, shoot, my bus. I jumped up, grabbed my stuff, ran out, ran past Cam. By this time, me and Cam had stopped speaking because, like I said, how she talked to people, I'm like, she not going to talk to me like that. So I think it'd be best if I don't say nothing to her. So, I ran past Cam. Get outside. I'm waiting for the bus. My coworkers were getting off work who were there 11 to 7 o'clock in the morning. They're getting off and they're like, oh girl, your bus didn't come yet. And one of them was like, well, I'll take you home. I'm like, great. She was like, girl, Cam was talking shit about you. I said, oh yeah, do tell. So she's like, yeah, she was like, you didn't do this and you didn't do that. You worked 11 to 7. You didn't do this and do that. And we told her like she wasn't even on. She was just here because she didn't have a way home. She was waiting to go home in the morning. And she was talking cash shit about you. And by this time, like, it was getting back to me, little stuff she was saying about me or whatever as far as work. So, and how oh yeah, I live in her neighborhood. I see her all the time, but she don't see me. I'll take that as a threat. You do what? And what happened? So, that day they took me home. I was like, I'm gonna say something to her. Don't say nothing to her. Don't say nothing to her. I'm like, okay, they took me home, fine, whatever. Another young lady, like maybe a week, 2 weeks later, another young lady I work with said, girl, your girl was in the office talking cash shit about you. I'm like, what? Now this girl I was like really cool with. Like, she's been to my house, I've been to hers. And she said that Cam was in the office talking to the resident care coordinator, which they were besties. They were homegirls. And like, yeah, her house probably nasty. And she got sheets up to her windows and this and that and the third. Now, I lived in an apartment complex. In my apartment complex, you had to come up in the complex. Like, you couldn't ride past and see where I lived. I have blinds because they came with the apartment complex. And I'm like, huh, what? So my homegirl who was overhearing this was like, no, she not nasty. I've been to her house. Her house is cute. Her kitchen is red. Her bathroom is pink. Her living room is brown and beige. Her house is real cute. So whatever. So after that, I was like, yeah, I'm going to say something to this broad. And so I'm trying to think. Did I check her first? However, when I covered all avenues, I think I checked her first. I was like, oh, she hadn't been to work in a couple of days. I think she had taken off and went out of town for a couple of days. Okay, whatever. So she finally came back to work, and I'm getting off 11 to 7, and she coming in 7 to 3. And I was like, you got something to say to me? Nah, I ain't got nothing to say to you. I said, oh, well, you told Madison, you said something about me not doing my work on such and such day, the day that I didn't work. And I wasn't even working. Oh, I didn't know that. I said, maybe you should have found out before you going off talking about me behind my back. I was like, and you was talking about my house. You don't know me. You ain't never been to my house. You ain't never been around me. And I'm just I be seeing you on the street when you be walking. You don't even know. That's why you catching the bus. Like, and I was like, that's why you ugly, you fake Christian. And we going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So finally, one of my homegirls, she was like, girl, come on, let's go. I'll take you home. Blah, 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 blah. I was like, I ain't done. So when I woke up later on that morning, I called corporate. And I'm like, this woman is threatening me, talking about she see me, we live in the same neighborhood, and she sees me when I don't see her. I take that as a threat. I was like, she big and scary looking. I'm scared. I'm frightened. I shouldn't feel that way at work. And I was like, she talking about my house and she being disrespectful. I don't talk about her and her personal life and this and that and the third. And so they're like, oh, I could see how that would upset you and da 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 da. And they're like, okay. I shouldn't have said my last name, but anyway, they're like, okay, we understand why you're upset and blah 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 blah. Okay, so I come back to work, and the ED pulls me in her office. As the executive director, she's like the administrator over the building. She pulls me in her office and she's like, well, what happened? And I'm telling her everything. I feel threatened by her. She's a bully. She talked crazy to the residents. She talked crazy to staff. She talked crazy to family. I'm surprised more people didn't come back, haven't came back and complained to y'all. Who else is in the office but the RC, the resident care coordinator, which is her homegirl. So what is happening is people are going back to the resident care coordinator, chain of command, and complaining about her, but she's not taking it no higher because that's her homegirl. Okay, that's fine. So now the ED is turning to the resident care coordinator like, did you know any of this? Oh, no, this is my first time hearing about this. And I'm just like, okay, that's what we gonna do. I'm gonna do it too. I said, well, I was bullied growing up in school, and I should not have to go through this as an adult. I should not be bullied in school. I was like, talk to the other staff members back there. She is very disrespectful. She's abrasive. She's mean. She's this. She's that. Da 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 da. What I do that for, girl? I led the charge. So what ended up happening? There were several incidents. They had a meeting, a quick little meeting about how she is, her demeanor. I can remember an incident where one of the girls I worked with, she had a favorite resident, and the resident was she's a heavy lady, and the resident was asking for more food, and Pam was like, she fat enough, she ain't getting no more food, and told the CNA, you want to get her some more food, you're gonna have to come through me to get it. Like, you at work, girl. So what the CNA ended up doing was going up to the front of the building to get the lady more food and brought it back to her. But like, people were just complaining, but it was like a floodgate of people complaining about how she is and how disrespectful she is, how abrasive she is, how mean she is, da 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 da. So they suspended her, and she was suspended for a little while. And then after that, I don't know. Yeah, okay. After the suspension, she came back and they fired her. Because I'm going to tell you one thing about these AL places, especially in these higher end neighborhoods, they're not going to tolerate the disrespect to their family. And that was one of the main issues, her being disrespectful to the residents. And so they ended up terminating her ass. And I don't feel bad, because that's what the hell she get. All that hood shit, like, kind of leave it at the door when you come to work. I don't know what she was going through. She may have been going through some stuff, but no, because people kind of said she been like that the whole time. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the issue is with her, but she ended up getting terminated because of that. And that was that. Like, her homegirl was like, oh, I had no idea. You did, though. I didn't go to the homegirl. I went straight to corporate on her ass. Because, like I said, they girls. She gonna look out for her. She gonna you know, she's gonna cover her back. But then I heard down the line that the homegirl was like, if it come down to my job or hers, it's gonna be hers. So I guess not too much, bitch. Not too fucking much. But yeah, y'all, that was a story time about, I don't know if I'm a neighbor, got into it with a coworker, or I think how I got my bully fired, or you know, it was a group effort, but I led the charge because I was the one that called corporate. Rate, comment, subscribe to this video. Give me a thumbs up, and I will see y'all later. Bye.